Hey, tech enthusiasts! Welcome back to channel, where we bring you the latest and greatest in the world of technology. Today, we're diving into the realm of 1080 gaming and productivity with our top picks for the best 1080p GPUs in 2025. Number 5, GeForce RTX 4090. For some, the best graphics card is the fastest card, regardless of price. Nvidia's GeForce RTX 4090 is designed specifically for this type of customer. It also marked the introduction of Nvidia's Ada-Lovelace architecture, and it will be the most powerful card Nvidia has to offer, probably until 2025, when the next generation GPUs are expected. The RTX 4090 has a greater performance gap than the next closest Nvidia GPU. It outperforms the RTX 4080 in our suite of gaming benchmarks by 35%. It's also 51% faster than AMD's top-tier RX 7900 XTX, but costing around 60% more. To be clear, you will need a high refresh rate 4K monitor to get the most out of the RTX 4090. At 1440, its advantage over a 4080 drops to 23%. Number 4, Nvidia GeForce RTX 4060 Ti. It's difficult to choose between the AMD Radeon RX 7700 XT and this, the 8GB version of the Nvidia GeForce RTX 4060 Ti for a Quad AT-tuned PC. The Radeon is faster in non-ray traced native res games and comes with greater VR and 12GB. But I'd still go with the RTX 4060 Ti. Apart from being substantially less expensive than the RX 7700 XT, some models of which cost almost as much as an RX 7800 XT, it more than makes up for its performance deficit once you start using all of its toys. DLSS upscaling appears to be better than FSR's, but there's also the RTX 4060 Ti's vastly higher ray tracing performance and the option of enabling DLSS 3 to send frame rates skyrocketing. Even basic DLSS upscaling can tip the scales in the RTX 4060 Ti's favor. It could average 46 fps at 1440 with maximal settings, cycle ray tracing, and DLSS on quality, whilst the RX 7700 XT could only manage 38 fps with quality SSR. The GPU's maximum power consumption is only 160 W, which is 40 billion less than the RTX 3060 Ti despite producing higher frames per second. And you're likely to use even less when playing games, so while the RTX 4060 Ti isn't any cheaper to buy than its processor, it will be more cost-effective in the long term. It should also make upgrading from an older system with a modest sub-600W power supply easier. Even this customized MSI model requires only a single 8-pin power connector, which was a welcome change for someone who has spent far too much of his life on his knees, painstakingly inserting up to 4 plugs into the bulky, sometimes melty adapters that higher-end Nvidia cards now use. The overall performance difference between the RTX 4060 Ti and the RTX 3060 Ti isn't as dramatic. To be fair, it's an improvement, but at native 1440, the new GPU never truly disappears. Aside like Horizon Zero Dawn and Watch Dogs Legion, the RTX 4060 Ti rarely appears like upsetting the more expensive RTX 4070. Both GPUs can use Nvidia DLSS to help them support more titles, but the RTX 4060 Ti also supports DLSS 3 in its frame generation capability. This allows it to increase frame rates well beyond what upscaling alone could achieve. In F122, for example, a 62 fps average became 121 fps, with both quality level upscaling and AI frame creation. Simply enabling upscaling increased it to 92 fps, while non-upscaled frame creation increased it to 94 fps, but the two together can create frame rates that are significantly higher than the RTX 3060 Ti's capabilities. Number 3, Radeon RX 7900 XTX. The Red Team King is no longer with us. Long live the Red Team King. AMD's Radeon RX 7900 XTX is the company's fastest graphics card, and it ranks near the top of the lists, with a generational price increase to match. Officially priced at $999. The most affordable variants now start around $950, and supply has finally caught up to demand. The 7900 XTX is in high demand for good reason, since it features AMD's newest RDNA 3 architecture. This gives the 7900 XTX much higher compute power, as well as 33% more memory and bandwidth. When compared to the RX 6950 XT, the new GPU is 40% quicker at 4K, 30% faster at 1440, and only 24% faster at 1080p. It also provides that performance gain without significantly affecting power consumption or graphics card size. AMD remains a viable option for anyone who isn't concerned with ray tracing, and when you consider the enormous impact to speed for typically minor benefits in image fidelity, we can see why. Still, the number of games that support RT is growing, and the majority of those also support Nvidia's DLSS technology, which AMD hasn't fully addressed, even if SSR2 can come close at times. If you want the best DXR/RT experience right now, Nvidia is still the clear winner. The new second generation Ray accelerators in the RX 7900 XTX enable 4K gaming on ultra settings with ray tracing on an AMD card, something that the previous flagship AMD card, the RX 6950 XT, couldn't quite achieve. Its rasterization performance is also second only to the RTX 4090, but that is an industrial strength GPU disguised as consumer hardware. The RX 7900 XTX and XT use AMD's cutting-edge RDNA 3 architecture, which delivers excellent rasterization performance. Ray tracing remains a second-class citizen, and while quicker than the previous generation, AMD can't compete with Nvidia in DXR games, and that doesn't even include DLSS, which is still widely used. AMD had a huge bar to clear with the AMD Radeon RX 7900 XTX, and it pulls off a significant upset against Nvidia's rival RTX 4080 in every manner that it needed to. It isn't always the better graphics card in this or that test, and its ray tracing ability lags behind the RTX 4080, not to mention its creative performance, but with its outstanding overall performance and very competitive price point. It is exactly the type of enthusiast graphics card that our current era requires. Number 2, Nvidia GeForce RTX 3090. Despite being a last-generation GPU, the Nvidia RTX 3090 remains one of the greatest graphics cards available. No game, or more importantly, heady graphics project will suffer from performance concerns with a huge 24 gigabytes of RAM. In reality, we were able to obtain 8K performance at 60 frames per second out of the 3090. However, even 3 years after its release, it is still an extremely pricey device, and it is quite huge, so it will most likely be too much GPU for most people. The Nvidia GeForce RTX 3090 is essentially a Titan replacement, meaning it's aimed more at the creative user tackling intense 3D and video rendering than the passionate gamer. Nonetheless, it is far less expensive than the Titan, making it a steal for creative artists used to spending a lot of money on their tools of the trade. The Nvidia GeForce RTX 3090 is the most powerful graphics card on the market today, offering playable 8K gaming performance as well as jaw-dropping 3D rendering and encoding capabilities. However, this degree of strength comes at a hefty cost. The vast majority of users are unlikely to find it worthwhile, but for creative professionals whom Nvidia is primarily targeting with this card, the RTX 3090 is a steal. The RTX 3090, like its smaller sibling, the RTX 3080, is based on Nvidia's Ampere architecture and employs the full-fat GA102 GPU. This time, we'll get 82 streaming multiprocessors, SM, for a total of 10,496 CUDA cores, 328 tensor cores, and 82 RT cores. The RTX 3090 also has 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X video memory on a 384-bit bus, resulting in 936 gigabytes of memory bandwidth, nearly a terabyte of data per second. Anyone who conducts significant 3D rendering work in tools like DaVinci Resolve and Blender will benefit greatly from having such a large allocation of VRAM that is this quick. And when your job requires these apps, anything that helps shorten project timelines saves you money in the long run. When combined with the RTX 3090's inexpensive price, at least when compared to the Titan RTX, it's a no-brainer. The Nvidia GeForce RTX 3090 Founders Edition, like the RTX 3080, is hands down the greatest cooler design Team Green has ever shipped. While this is a big graphics card, the monster is 12.3 inches long, has 3 slots, and weighs a lot. We don't have a scale, and Nvidia doesn't list the weight, but it's definitely more than 7 pounds. Number 1, AMD Radeon RX 7800 XT. With the release of Navi 32, as well as the RX 7800 XT and RX 7700 XT, AMD has finalized its new RDNA 3 GPU family. Guys, that concludes our top 5 best 1080p GPU of 2025 list. All product links are in the description, which is updated with the lowest prices. Subscribe to our channel for more videos. Until then, we'll see you in the next video.